Welcome to the fifth and final video of my beginner video series. We started at the green with putting and we've worked our way back, and now we're at the tee box, and I want to show you a few tips on how to hit that long, powerful drive. So you can see here I have a driver in my right hand, I have an 8-iron in my left hand. Now, first thing I want you to notice, obviously, is the difference in length between my 8-iron and my driver. Now that difference in length is going to mean we need to swing a little bit different with these two clubs. Now with the 8-iron, we talked about last week and the week before, we talked about getting back into this nice L position where your left arm was parallel with the ground and you had the club going straight up. Creating a nice wrist hinge here at about waist high with this 8-iron. Well, because the driver is a little bit longer, the first thing to being able to generate power with our drive is to generate a bigger swing arc. Now, what that means is I don't want to get in this L position with my driver. I don't want to hinge my wrist real early with my driver. I'm going to have a little bit later wrist hinge, drag it back, and I'm going to hinge my wrist later so that I can create that bigger swing arc. And keep my hands further away from my body, keep the club further away from my body, so that will allow me to generate sufficient club head speed. So once you create that big swing arc, what I want you to do is take a couple practice swings where you're practicing on getting club up here, keeping your hands a little further away from your body to create that nice big arc. And then we're simply going to swing through, thinking about swinging fast and generating club head speed. I want you to hear that swoosh sound the driver creates at the bottom of your swing. So it's going to look a little bit like this. Now in those swings, I'm not thinking too much about technique. My only thought is creating a big arc and coming through and generating that swoosh sound. So that's going to get me into the habit of swinging fast and generating club head speed. One statistic that I think you'll find interesting is that for every mile an hour of club head speed that you gain, you should gain about 5 yards of distance. So if you can practice and generate at least 1 mile an hour faster club head speed when you have the ball in front of you, you potentially could get an extra 5 yards of distance pretty easily. Now, other than having a big swing arc and generating club head speed, one other tip I want to give you is to be able to use the ground for power. And what I mean by that is you have to stabilize your feet, stabilize your lower body, so that to generate sufficient club head speed, you're actually going to be using the ground in your favor. So I want you to feel when you take that club back that you're keeping the weight on the inside of this right foot. And the reason I want you to do that is so that when you start your forward swing, you can use the ground as leverage to make a proper hip turn and get your hands through and generate that club head speed. So especially with the driver, our lower body is going to take a very active role in helping us generate power. We want to keep it stable, and our lower body is going to actually be what initiates our forward swing. So you want to make sure that you don't just take the club back here and just swing through with all arms and finish with your weight back on your right side. That's one thing that I see a lot of people do, and it costs you so much distance. So by keeping the weight on the inside of your right foot, that's going to be a key point. I'm going to take the club back here. I'm at the top of my backswing. My first move, to help me feel that proper weight transfer, I'm going to feel like I'm bumping my hip towards the target. So this little bump right here is going to get me thinking about that proper weight transfer and getting my hips into this shot. So it's going to look a little bit like this. Club back, weight's on the inside of my right foot to initiate my forward swing. I'm going to bump with my left hip and then swing through. So to quickly summarize, to generate power with your driver, you're going to create a big swing arc with a little later wrist hinge than you would with an iron. You're going to use the ground as leverage. You're going to put a little more weight on the inside of your right foot to be able to use the ground as leverage on your forward swing. And you're going to start your forward swing with a little hip bump towards your target to initiate that weight transfer. So use those 3 tips to hit a long straight drive, and you're going to be out driving everybody in no time.